So I'm going to give you 5 questions that I think are just destructive and just nuclear bombs. Number 1, if someone tells you that you're a lot like your ex or your current, would you take that as a compliment? Think about it. Number 2, would you allow your future kid to date someone like your spouse? 3, were you able to unapologetically be yourself, or do you have to act like someone else when you are with them? 4, do you like the real them, just their good side, or the idea or potential of them? And then finally, while you are with them, are you fulfilled or are you simply less lonely? And so I think if you can think through those are tough questions to answer. And I'll be clear here. I think that every day, like sometimes there are moments where a relationship can get in the rocks. But I think what's interesting about this set of questions is that they zoom out a lot. It's, would you want your kid to date someone like this? Like if someone describes you like them, would you take it as a compliment? That's usually going to take it to like their character, right? The behavior traits they do on a regular basis, right? Do you like the real them or the idea of them? Are you fulfilled or just lonely, right? These are, I think, really good questions when we're thinking about this, because I've been fortunate with Layla, and by no means do I stand here on a pedestal. I want to be very clear. But she has made it more likely that I hit my goals. And fundamentally, the reason that I ended up marrying her was from that frame. And we actually got married. I probably won't go too much more into this because I don't like talking about relationships very much. But I had a you call it a mindset coach. I think his technical term was an executive coach. I had an executive coach when I was like 26 or 7. And it was before Layla and I got married. And I said, I don't know if I want to be with this girl. It's not like we have this like chemical fireworky chemistry, relationship. But like, I think she's really cool and I like her a lot and I like being around her and I feel like I'm better when I'm with her. And he said, well, look at your stats. And so he went category by category. So he's like, how about fitness? Are you working out? And I was like, yeah, she goes to the gym. And so I, basically if I don't want to go, I'll still go with her. And he was like, okay, so you're working out more than you were on your own. I was like, yeah. He's like, okay. He's like, what about food? Are you eating healthier? And I was like, yeah, she's actually, she did a year of culinary school. She likes, cooking for me. She likes baking. She likes doing all that stuff. And, but she's like in fitness. So she knows how to make like the kind of stuff that I want to eat. And he was like, that's great. Cool. He's like, okay, what about financially? He's like, does she spend a lot of money? I was like, no, actually she makes me money. Like she not only doesn't spend money, she makes me money and she helps me go make more money because she handles things that I would normally have to do so that I can go sell more. And he was like, okay. And so we just keep going down this list and basically all my stats were up. And so that conversation was one of probably 3 moments in my life with Layla that I was like, what if I use the frame of like, does this person help me become the person I want to be, rather than do I have the butterfly tingles and fireworks, which is basically the litmus test that I used for every other relationship that I'd been in my life. And I can tell you that now we've been together 8.5 years, something like that. And I think logic prevails. So I'll explain what I mean by that. Is like, if you are together based on pure emotion, then it means that when the emotions change, you don't want to be together. For us, we have had a logical foundation for why it made sense for me, because my goals have not changed. My goals have remained more or less the same since I got into business, since I've been almost like in high school. I've wanted to just be successful, grow, make more, be more, right? And at all points in time, no matter how angry, upset, whatever I can be, I have not met anyone who has helped me more than she has. And so in becoming the person I want to become and achieving the things that I want to achieve. And the very first date that we went on, I told her, I'm going to work all the time. And so this will only work if you can spend time with me while I work. And so I think our second date, was like a daytime date. We just like, I was like, the day after we went on our first day, I was like, you want to hang out tomorrow? I was like, I'm just gonna be working at my place all day. And she said, sure. She said, I've training clients in the morning and then I'll come hang out after lunch. And I said, fine. And so we just worked the rest of the day. And the next day I also worked. And so then she came over and we worked there. We pretty much spent every single day after that together with no date. So much so that I left and did a launch and came back and she said, you said you would take me on a date. It's been a month. I'd spent 30 days in a row with her, had not taken her on a date, had just worked next to her. And so to me, very much like, this is me. This is my life. If you want in on this, then great. But like, I'm not going to change this. And I think we look at people in our lives and we ask ourselves, am I willing to make compromises? And I just have not been willing to compromise my goals. And in every situation where I was forced to compromise my goals or feel like it was a tit for tat, we're like, oh, okay, we talked about your day, let's talk about my day. Let's, okay, fine. We like, let's support both of our careers, whatever it is. When those things, I always felt like I was like, compromise is just both people not getting what they want. Like fundamentally. And so I would rather find a way where we can just both get what we want.